Can anyone truly fill Neil Peart's legendary seat? For decades, fans believed the answer was simple: no one. Neil wasn't just a drummer. He was Rush's heartbeat, their poet, their precision. So when the band announced their 2026 reunion tour, the world braced for nostalgia, not shock. But then came the twist no one saw coming. Rush had chosen a new drummer, not a veteran from the prog rock scene, not a household name, but a German woman who once worked as a preschool teacher. Her name? Anika Nilles. And her journey from classroom to Colosseum is unlike anything you've ever heard. Anika Nilles was born on May 29, 1983, in the quiet town of Aschaffenburg, Germany, a place far removed from the roaring arenas of rock legends. But rhythm was in her blood from the very beginning. Her father was a drummer. So were her relatives. Music wasn't just a hobby in the Nilles household, it was the family language. At just 6 years old, Anika picked up the sticks and began a lifelong conversation with rhythm, developing a sense of timing and groove that would later mesmerize millions. Yet, in her early adulthood, Anika took a very different path. She pursued social education, working as a preschool teacher. While other future rock stars were touring smoky clubs, she spent her days guiding small children, teaching them songs, and quietly tapping out rhythms on classroom tables. But even while she cared for kids, her sticks never stopped moving. At some point, comfort wasn't enough. Anika could have stayed in her stable job, living a quiet, predictable life. But deep down, the rhythm was calling her toward something bigger. She made a bold, life-altering choice to leave the security of the preschool classroom and fully commit to music. She enrolled at the prestigious Popakademie Baden-Württemberg in Mannheim, one of Germany's most respected institutions for contemporary music. There, she immersed herself in pop, jazz, and progressive drumming, disciplines that demanded both precision and creativity. Day after day, she pushed her technical limits, experimenting with odd time signatures, layered grooves, and melodies expressed through percussion. Slowly, a distinctive sound began to take shape, a bold fusion of jazz sophistication, funk groove, and the complexity of progressive rock. This wasn't just practice, it was transformation. She wasn't simply learning how to play better, she was discovering who she was as a musician. And that decision would change her life, and decades later, Rush's history. By the early 2010s, Anika took her next leap, not onto a stage, but onto the internet. She began uploading videos of her original drum compositions and performances to YouTube. These weren't simple covers or basic lessons. They were intricate, explosive showcases of rhythm and artistry, her hands moving with machine-like precision, her grooves layered with emotional depth. Within weeks, her videos began spreading through drummer forums, music blogs, and social media feeds. People around the world were stunned by this German drummer with flawless timing and a completely unique style. Millions of views poured in. Comments from musicians across continents praised her technique, her control, her creativity. She wasn't just another YouTuber. She was quickly becoming a force in the global drumming community. And then, something unexpected happened. It wasn't just fans watching anymore. Music legends were paying attention too. Anika's online success wasn't a fleeting moment. It was the launchpad for a real musical career. In 2017, she released her debut album Picalar, often stylized as PCR, in media coverage. It was a bold statement. Intricate compositions, dazzling rhythms, and a sound that refused to be boxed in. Critics praised its complexity, and drummers dissected her tracks like blueprints for modern percussion. 3 years later, in 2020, she followed up with For a Colorful Soul, an album that solidified her reputation as a progressive drumming powerhouse. It wasn't just technically brilliant, it was emotionally rich, blending jazz, funk, and prog in a way that felt entirely her own. But it was 2022 that truly changed her trajectory. Anika joined the legendary Jeff Beck on his European tour, performing night after night alongside one of rock's most respected guitarists. On stage, she didn't just keep up, she elevated the performance. Her precision and flair caught the attention of industry heavyweights, cementing her status as not just a YouTube phenomenon, but a world-class musician. And one of those legends would eventually lead her straight to Rush. It was during her time with Jeff Beck that fate quietly shifted. Among the millions watching her performances was none other than Geddy Lee, Rush's iconic bassist and vocalist. He'd stumbled upon her work online, then followed her tour clips with Beck. What he saw wasn't just talent, it was precision, soul, and the kind of rhythmic intelligence that could stand on the same stage Rush once shared with Neil Peart. So when the band began quietly planning their 2026 50-something reunion tour, Geddy made a bold suggestion: Anika Nilles. It was a name that surprised everyone. She wasn't a household rock star, nor a seasoned member of the classic prog elite. But what she had was undeniable musical brilliance. And then came the call. Anika was chosen to step into the most sacred seat in Rush's history, the drummer's throne. Her appointment wasn't just a casting decision, it was a monumental, emotional moment. Neil Peart's passing had left a void that fans believed could never be filled. And while no one could replace him, Anika's selection signaled something different. Evolution, not imitation. No one expected a German YouTube drummer to become Rush's new rhythmic heart. In October 2025, Rush made the announcement fans had been waiting for, their first tour in years. The 2026 50-something reunion tour would celebrate the band's unmatched legacy, while ushering in a daring new era. Each night would feature 2 full sets, spanning Rush's entire catalog, from the explosive energy of their early prog years to the polished anthems that defined their later sound. The tour would kick off in major cities like Los Angeles, New York, and Cleveland, places forever etched in Rush's history. But this time, the spotlight wouldn't just be on Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson. All eyes would be on Anika Nilles. Fans are buzzing with one burning question: how will she reinterpret Neil Peart's iconic drum parts? His fills, solos, and polyrhythmic precision are almost sacred to Rush devotees. But Anika isn't a mimic. She's an innovator. People are eager to see how she'll honor Neil's legacy while leaving her own fingerprint on these timeless songs. The pressure is immense. But so is the anticipation. Anika's appointment isn't just another lineup change. It's symbolic. She represents a bridge between Rush's legendary past and the evolving future of music. For decades, Rush embodied technical brilliance and fearless experimentation. By bringing Anika on board, they're not erasing that legacy. They're extending it into a new generation. Her story highlights something remarkable about the modern era. Platforms like YouTube can propel raw talent onto the world's biggest stages. She didn't rise through the traditional rock circuit or industry gatekeepers. She built her reputation from her drum room, uploading performances to the internet, until those rhythms echoed loud enough to reach icons like Geddy Lee. And musically, her presence marks Rush's evolution. She's not replacing Neil Peart, because no one can. Instead, she's adding her own voice to the band's story, blending her progressive style with Rush's intricate compositions. It's a rare moment where legacy meets innovation, past meets present, and the rhythm continues to move forward. This isn't just a comeback. It's a passing of the torch. Anika Nilles' journey is nothing short of extraordinary. From guiding preschoolers in a quiet German classroom, to uploading drum videos online, to touring alongside Jeff Beck, and now, stepping into the drummer's seat for one of the most revered bands in rock history. It's the kind of arc that feels almost cinematic, a story that blends courage, talent, and timing in perfect rhythm. But now comes the real test. As Rush enters this bold new chapter, the world will be watching, not just to hear how she plays, But to see how fans respond to this unprecedented evolution, do you think fans will embrace this bold new era for Rush? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories reshaping music history.